Hello, Five Reasons friends. Welcome back to our Marlins report. On Monday, we are going live. We're live right now on the YouTube channel, here on the Five Reasons YouTube channel, to talk about the Miami Marlins. The Marlins won their first win of the season, taking 3 out of 4 games from the Philadelphia Phillies this weekend. David Fernandez was here on Lone Depot Park. I was there on Thursday for the home opener, and we're going to talk a little bit about our takeaways from this 4 game series and also do a little preview for the next series, which is against the Cardinals starting tomorrow and also here in Miami. How are you, David? Welcome back to our Marlins report.
Hey Alejandro, what's up? Thanks for having me. Glad to see some Marlins wins. The offense finally got going this weekend. It was a lot of fun to watch. Except for me on Saturday. I went to the Saturday game, and that was the game where the offense wasn't there and Trevor Rogers was tipping his pitches and it was a disaster.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching that game at home, the only one they lost, and it was just like he was just missing, and it was a couple of hard fought at bats, the birdie
Yeah,
play at first, a lot of things went wrong in that game. But
yeah,
let's talk about the positives, right?
yeah, yeah.
So the Marlins, like you said, the offensive side woke up, and we were worried a little bit about what we saw on the West Coast.
Yeah.
It was just what was it? 4 games, 5 games, 5 games,
Yeah, it was the 5 game series.
and
Well,
and
5 game road trip.
yes, and now in these 4 games, we saw a totally different outcome coming
Hmm.
from this game. So, what do you think? What was your main takeaway from it? Are you surprised by Sanchez? Are you surprised by any of the guys that are just hitting the ball hard now?
No, I mean, this is what they were expecting, right? This is what
Yeah,
the team was expecting. This is what we had all hoped for, really. And I mean, other than Saturday, they looked great all weekend long. And Saturday, like you point to the fact that Mattingly sat what amounted to his 3 best hitters because the Phillies had sent out a lefty and Ranger Suarez.
yeah,
And then they couldn't produce much on offense. But, those other nights, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, the bats got going and they were going at key moments and they were extending rallies. On the road trip during that 5 game road trip, they went 2 for 29 with runners in scoring position, which was the worst mark in baseball. And then over this 4 game series against the Phillies, I have it written down here. They went 14 for 42 with runners in scoring position, and they scored 25 runs. I mean, that's literally the difference between being a winning ball club and being a losing ball club. And we saw them take advantage. They got guys on, they moved them over, and then they got them in, which is what you need to do when you're playing baseball.
yeah. We said here before the season that if they could hit just enough, this team was going to compete
Yeah,
there in the East. I know. I mean, I know. And looking at the Philadelphia Phillies lineup on Thursday when I went there, I was like, damn, this is a solid lineup until at least until the sixth spot. So they have
yeah,
Real Muto, they have Harper, they have Castellanos, they have Hoskins. You're like, damn, Gregorius. You're like, okay, this is a good ball club. And then, but still, they were outscored by the Marlins, which is
yeah,
it was surprising. It was a great surprise for me. Taking that first game, I think it was key because that game, I think that was the only one that was kind of even.
hmm,
Um, and it was, I mean, Bryce Harper was the last out of the game, and he had I mean, if he hit a homer, they would have gotten up by 1 run. So, and it was Anthony Bender again getting
yeah,
that chance. So I think that was a key moment to really just take a breath a little bit because after that, I mean, it was the first inning. Sandy got rocked, and
right.
he was just lucky that a couple of those line drives were right at people, but he got rocked in that first inning, and then he settled down. He put another great presentation out there, and the homer by Gary Cooperman. It
Yeah,
was like they
that was the
lifted so
spark.
much weight from their shoulders. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, that was the spark. They went down early and like you felt like the energy left the building.
Yeah.
And there were a ton of Phillies fans there all weekend long, but still, I mean, the Marlins fans were loud that night. I mean, they had over 31,000 people there. That's the biggest crowd they've had at home since the 2018 opening day. So it's been years, plural, that they haven't seen that many people at Lone Depot. And Garrett Cooper even said it after the game. He said that he had never seen an environment like that during his time with the team, and he said that it makes you want to play better. And you think about that energy, and they had decent crowds, for the rest of the weekend. Obviously, not all the way, past 30,000 or whatever, but they averaged 17,000 for the 4 game series, which is far and away better than what they've had in recent days. And that Garrett Cooper homer, that really sort of flipped that game, right? Because Sandy had struggled early, as you said, but he settled in, and he found his spots, he found his rhythm, and he eventually he had to give it over to the bullpen, and the bullpen kind of did their job too. You were worried a little bit about Bender, and you're worried about how he reacts to sort of negative situations and negative moments, but he got the job done, even though he had. I think he gave up like a leadoff single, right? And and Avisail Garcia had a great defensive play out there to cut the ball off to keep it to a single.
Yeah.
Then they get the double play, and then he gives up another single to like that same spot. Because they were playing Cooper off the line. Some of the defensive shifts, gave up that spot, but he got the out when he needed it, right? And he got Harper, and then that was a huge momentum swing, and it allowed the Marlins to sort of carry that through the series. And if Rodgers isn't tipping his pitches on Saturday, and John Birdie doesn't become like Roman Reigns and tries to spear Garrett Cooper at first base, maybe they get a whole 4-game sweep, But it was great to see the offense get going.
I think a key at bat was that Joey Wendell in that fourth inning, the 2-out double to strike. Also, I talked to him after the game, and he said, "Listen, we were all trying to do too much. We knew that. I mean, because they knew, they had to know. You started noticing. Okay, we're not getting runs. We're missing. We're getting out with a runner in scoring position." And that catches up to you in some moments. So experienced guy, a guy that I thought should be a little bit more up in the lineup, but now it seems like the lineup's working. We started talking about the lineup, and now the lineup's working. So okay, we can't do we can't say anything about it. But that at bat was key because, I mean, they gave him the lead, but it helped also to lift a little bit of that weight.
No, and you see it, and they feed on each other, right? I mean, they ended up getting, I think it's 16 extra base hits over the 4-game series, right? And only, 4 of those came from Soler and Garcia. But then, I mean, like Jazz obviously had an amazing series. Jesus Sanchez had an amazing series. And so that momentum, you worry about the lineup when everybody goes cold at the same time. Well, this lineup has the ability for everybody to get hot at the same time, and that's kind of what we saw against the Phillies.
Yeah, even some guys that were really, really cold, like Miguel Rojas had a couple of key at bats there.
Yeah,
a triple and was part of some of the rallies that the Marlins put together. So it was a fun series to watch because the Marlins started to heat a lot, and that's obviously fun, and the pitching did their job. That's also a key element there. I talked to Sandy Alcantara. Don Mattingly came out and said that he felt like Sandy wasn't quite yet there. And I asked Sandy about it. He said, no, I'm fine. I could have kept going. I just because he got taken out in the 7th inning with 1 out. Yeah, and a runner on, and he said, "No, I was fine. I can go up to 110 pitches, but you got to respect what the manager decides." So that was about it. Yeah. But other than that, I think the pitching staff did a great job.
Yeah, well, to build on that, Sandy, Pablo, and Eliezer, they threw 17 and 2/3 innings in this series, and they gave up 3 earned runs between the two of them. Pablo didn't give up any in his start, and Hernandez was great on Sunday. He went 6 innings. He gave up the homer. Late in his outing, but I mean, between the 3 of them, they were really, really, really good.
Yeah, they found a way to, whenever the Phillies had runners on, other than the game that you went to, the Trevor Rogers pitch, they found a way to avoid those huge hits with men on, because the Phillies had men on in a couple of innings, but the Marlins found a way to really get out of there and come away with a couple of wins. So
the defense is helping them too. We were worried a little bit about that outfield defense, but we saw it on the home opener with Avisail Garcia cutting off those hits and keeping.
He's a good corner outfielder. I was a little bit more worried if he was going to play center field.
Yeah, and Soler has been fine in left field, and Jesus Sanchez has been really good in center. So like the worries that we had, from a defensive perspective, is that were they going to sort of give up runs for this pitching staff? They haven't. They've done really, really well. And Joey Wendell has played really well. I mean, he had those 2 errors on opening day, but other than that, I mean, he started a key double play at one point over the weekend. I mean, the defenses really looked good too.
Yeah, and also I was gonna say Brian Anderson and De La Cruz also when they had to play as well, they
Yeah.
also did a good job as well. We saw Brian Anderson making the highlights. I think it yesterday or was it on Saturday? I don't remember now. So many plays to remember, but he had a great play in left field and came out with the ball, and that was fun to watch. So I mean, it's working. So far,
Yeah.
it's working for the Marlins at least at home. I
At
mean,
home.
they had a positive record last year at home, so
Yeah.
that hasn't been the problem. So you have to take it advantage as much as you can of playing at home, and hopefully the Marlins can continue to do so.
Yeah, their scoring splits at home. Well, their scoring splits for the year right now, they average 6.3 runs per game at home, which
Mhm.
is second best in baseball, and then they average 2.8 runs on the road, which is 25th in baseball. So there's a pretty dramatic separation between those two. So hopefully, the runs on the road pick up a little bit, but at least they're home for another few days, right?
Yeah, they play the Cardinals and then they play the Braves here in Lone Depot Park to finish off the week. So it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna try to be there on Wednesday night against Sandy. So I get to watch Sandy and then Sandy again pitch. So but we're gonna try to mix it up a little bit in the future. No Marlins game tonight. They play tomorrow, and it's gonna be Jesus Luzardo pitching. So we'll see him for the first time in Miami,
Yep.
at least this season. And you were telling me that he was getting interviewed on Saturday when you went there. What were they
Yeah,
talking
so that
about?
they during pregame and stuff, they'll bring in a player to the Biscayne Bay Brew Hall,
Hmm.
right?
There you
And
go.
they'll do the Marlins pregame show from there. Kyle Seeloff has he has the seat, and they bring in a player, and they had Jesus Luzardo there, and they were talking through his approach. They were talking obviously about his first start of the year, and his 12 strikeouts and all that stuff. It was nice to see him and hear him, talk and interact with the fans. Obviously, his homegrown talent, right? He's from the area, so he's obviously excited to make his first start of the year at Marlins Park. And if he can pitch anything like he did over in Los Angeles, if he can carry that over here, I mean, the Marlins will be in some business, right? Because we were worried a little bit about Eliezer, and he pitched really well. Yesterday. And, so if they can roll out five guys that can legitimately go, 6, 7 innings and, carry the team, the way that they have been so far, then you don't have to worry too much about the offense. Obviously, they have to score, but, it allows guys like Max Meyer to continue to develop in AAA. He actually is going to start tomorrow for Jacksonville. I'm going to cover the game tomorrow for 5 Reasons Sports. He's starting, and they're playing the Gwinnett team, the Atlanta Braves AAA team, and Ronald Acuna Jr. is in his rehab stint. So
Right.
Max Meyer may get at least one at bat. You hope against Ronald Acuna Jr.
I mean, if they're playing there in Jacksonville, that's probably gonna be the first at bat of the game. So
Yeah.
you're gonna get it right
Hopefully he
away.
doesn't hit him. I mean, hopefully it doesn't go like that, but we'll see.
Yeah. For those that don't know, Ronald Acuna is starting his rehab
Yeah.
process playing games tomorrow there at AAA.
Yeah.
So David's gonna be there to witness
I mean, if
that
it goes
moment.
well, maybe he joins the Braves for because I think the
Yeah,
Marlins
they're
go
trying
to
to get
Atlanta.
him for the first week of May. It's what I
Oh,
read,
yeah.
but yeah, I don't
I mean,
think they're gonna rush it. They're trying to take it slowly. I read they were trying to get him for May 6th. Let me see where they play on May 6th. Real fast here. They play against the Brewers at home in Atlanta. So that's probably the series they're gonna start
Yeah, I guess that's right
using.
after the Marlins play them.
Yeah. They're gonna be. So hopefully we don't see him in a long time
Yeah,
because he tends to crush the Marlins. We got rid of Freddie Freeman. Now we got to
yeah,
try to stay away from Ronald Acuna as well. They both killed the Marlins. Or they
yeah,
have at least in the last couple of years. So tomorrow's gonna be a fun matchup. It's Jesus Luzardo against Adam Wainwright. So
yeah.
here we're gonna see a really challenging pitcher for the Marlins offense. I know they're hot right now, but this is the kind of guy that mixing it up
Yeah.
and knowing how to pitch can play a little bit with these type of hitters that are so aggressive in such a good moment, right?
Right. I mean, it's a good test for a lot of these young hitters. Our best hitters early on, Jazz and Jesus Sanchez, obviously very, very young in their MLB career. So you look forward to matchups like this. Neither of them have had much success against Wainwright yet, but they haven't seen him
Right.
a whole lot. Obviously, Ail Garcia has a good track record versus Wainwright, so hopefully that can kind of feed into what the Marlins do against him tomorrow. But again, it's going to be fun to see these hitters, these young hitters, go against a veteran, playoff tested pitcher in somebody like Wainwright. And beyond that, I think they'll end up seeing Steven Matz, who's a lefty, who the Cardinals got from the Mets. I think he's scheduled to go during this series as well. So I don't know when Mattingly is going to work these guys in against the lefty. Maybe they get a turn against Mats.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
hopefully, because I
it's
think
it, yeah. According to the app, it's to be determined on Wednesday who's pitching, and let me
yeah,
see on Thursday.
I mean it could be third. I think it's Thursday. I think
They
Mats'
don't
turn
they
is
don't
going
have
to
it set
fall.
up yet, so we'll have
Yeah,
to wait.
if
But
they're following their same pattern, I think Mikolas will probably start on Wednesday and then Mats on Thursday. And again, I really want to see if Mattingly starts to work some of these guys in against lefties, because how else are they going to learn to hit? You can't platoon Jazz Chisholm and Jesus Sanchez and
yeah, I
be
mean,
successful.
there are guys that have to play against any pitchers, and
Yeah.
if these guys are your starters, that's fine. If you're platooning, that's another thing. They're playing half of the games during the week, but not all of them. So
I know
yeah,
that
I
Mattingly
agree
is
with you.
worried a little bit about like getting guys into the rhythm of it, and it was a short spring training, and
Yeah,
yada yada yada, which is part of the reason why he's pulling the pitchers, I think, so early. You heard that Sandy could have kept going in that game. So maybe Mattingly's just playing it slow in that regard, but I really want to see. I mean, Mats is going to be the next lefty that they're facing. I'd love to see these guys in the lineup.
yeah, and now having the DH, I mean, I know they wanted to see more righties against the lefties, but I mean, you have to use your best guys that are
Yeah,
hitting
you
the
have to.
best right now. I mean, Sanchez and Chisholm should be facing some lefties at least at some point.
Yeah,
One of the things you talked about defense, Garrett Cooper playing first. They're platooning. They're doing
yeah,
first base and DH with Aguilar
yeah. They're
and
flip
trying to
flopping.
get both of them a little bit of rest. I don't
Yeah.
like Cooper playing first base, but I guess it
I
is
don't
what it
either.
is.
And listen, on Saturday, that was a key moment in that ball game, right? Because Trevor Rogers, he was gassed after the first inning. He
Yeah,
threw he
and that
threw
inning should have been a one-run inning.
right. It should have been. And they put the Phillies put the runner in motion. Stallings threw a strike to Birdie. They had the guy dead to rights, but they also had a runner on third. And I think the only thing that I could think of is that Birdie thought that he could get the tag before the runner scored, right?
Yeah,
But he couldn't, and he speared Garrett Cooper. And even though the Cooper stayed in the game for maybe another inning, I think, but then he ended up coming out, and Wendell came in, and Rojas went over to first base. So it was just a disaster. I mean, that's really like the low light of the weekend, obviously, because I mean, but if he makes that play, maybe it's a little bit different, right? Because we saw Rogers' velocity dipped after that, and they were kind of saying,
I mean,
after
it
the
was
game,
like a 40 pitch inning or something like that. So
yeah,
yeah,
he was gassed, and they made him work. And Mel Stottlemyre Jr. implied, he didn't say it outright, but he implied after the game that Rogers was tipping his pitchers. The quote is, "I think they recognized what was coming." That was what Stottlemyre said after the
they knew the plan well.
yeah. So it was just it wasn't in the writing was on the wall, I guess, for Rogers at that point, between being tired and then I guess maybe being tired factored into tipping the pitchers at that point, right? But that's something that Rogers has to work through, because I think he's had that problem in the past. I think there was at least one start last year where it was something like that. So you know he's got to make that adjustment, and then obviously Birdie's got to make that play. And if he can get that out, if he throws back home and Stallings can tag the runner before he scores or something, obviously maybe Saturday goes a little bit differently. But you know It
Yeah,
did
yeah, I agree. It was funny because it looked like the running back tackling the tackle.
Yeah,
I
no,
was like,
it
what's
was a
going on
disaster.
here?
It was a disaster. Yeah, and you should have like the place was everybody didn't even know what was going on. People were like groaning in the stands. It was bad.
Yeah, it was bad, but at least the Marlins got 3 out of 4 from that
Yeah,
series, and it's been a trend in the last couple of years. I know the Marlins haven't done particularly well in general, but against the Phillies,
yeah. Against the
they've
Phillies, they've
won
got a
that
winning record.
series.
Absolutely, they've won the season series 3 years in a row, and now they've won like this opening series. They still have to play. It's like 13 more times or 15 more times or something like that. So obviously, still plenty of games to play, but they've never won the season series 4 years in a row. And so they've got a nice little head start here against the Phillies. Now they have to transfer that over to the other NL East teams. They haven't played well against the Braves. They haven't played well against the Mets. Even the Nationals, they've had their struggles, but they have to beat up on the Nationals this year, and then they have to stay competitive with the Braves and the Mets if they're really going to make a run for a wild card.
Yeah, talking about the Mets are leading the division with 7 wins and 3 losses. They are the only team over 500 right now in
Yep.
the National League East. The Braves have 5 wins and 6 losses. The Marlins 4 wins and 5 losses. The Phillies 4 wins and 6 losses, and the Washington Nationals 4 wins and 7 losses. Still too early, but right now the Mets are right there with the best teams of the league, the Dodgers and the Giants, who are 7 wins and 2 losses, both in great winning streaks right now. 5 in a row for the Giants, 6 in a row for the Dodgers. There, the Cardinals are coming tomorrow. They are 5-3. Let me see how they did before they came here. I don't know if you have it right there. Let me check it out real quick. On Sunday, let me check real fast. Sunday, they lost to the Brewers
Yeah, they just
six to
split.
five.
They just split a 4-game series in Milwaukee.
Okay, so they're coming from a split,
Yeah,
and this is a team that should be fighting for a playoff spot as well. So it's going to be
absolutely.
a good matchup for the Marlins, and definitely looks like a fun pitching matchup on Wednesday. I'm gonna be there, so make sure you follow us. 5 Reasons. Follow David. Follow me there. Right there, you see my username because we're gonna be posting videos and stuff, and before, during, and after the game on Wednesday. But tomorrow, the first game of the series, of course, we're gonna have our coverage, Man on Second, as well. They recorded their podcast today, and it's here also on the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. We continue with our Miami Heat coverage as well. Inter Miami won the weekend, so it's a great weekend for Miami. Inter,
Yeah.
Miami Heat, Miami Marlins, they all won their games, so it was a
Panthers
great.
Panthers are looking good too.
Panthers are looking great as well, and we are happy. I mean, we're gonna bring back Jeter, but he wanted a team that was gonna compete. This team looks like can compete right now. Maybe we didn't make all the moves that he wanted. Maybe he wanted Castellanos there, and Castellanos said it. We
Yeah,
forgot.
Cassidy.
Maybe we forgot about this detail. Maybe because they won the series. If they lost the series and Castellanos had a huge series, we would have been talking maybe a little bit more about this
Yeah.
quotes from Thursday. But he told Joe Frisaro and a couple of reporters there that he thought he was gonna come here, and then when Jeter left, I guess that thought went away.
Yeah. I'm not sure
It's
that
pretty
that was.
clear. It's pretty clear that something was going on there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that that was ever the plan for the rest of the front office. I mean, maybe. I mean, obviously, he must have been talking to Jeter about something,
Hmm.
and he might very well have assumed or thought that he was going to get a big deal from the Marlins, but I can't imagine the Marlins were ever, at least the front office, the way that they've done things. I don't know that they were ever going to give him that kind of money. So
Yeah. Well, exactly. And they spent some money. I mean,
they did it, but they ended up, the money that would have gone to Castellanos, they split between Garcia and Soler.
Yeah. So and they took care of at least part of the offense there. So I mean, right now it's kind of working, right? They're still under 500, but it seems like it's
They're
working.
getting there. They're getting there.
And hopefully they can continue in this trend and have a good series against the Cardinals and again against the Braves. So we're gonna be back sometime soon. We don't know yet. We don't have a set up schedule. We just go whenever we feel like it. We're free. We like it this way. So whenever news come out, we're gonna have some more content here from the Marlins. David's gonna be there tomorrow, right? And in
Yeah,
Jacksonville, so you're
I'm
gonna
up
be
in
there for the
Jackson. Yeah,
AAA
I'll be
game.
up and covering the AAA game. Max Meyer gets the start, and some of the main prospects are out here. And then on Wednesday, I've got the prospect show with Joe on Five Reasons YouTube. So we got
Right.
you covered. Plenty of Marlins baseball talk throughout the week.
There you go. So make sure you subscribe, you like this video, leave your comments, and continue watching the content that we are putting out here. Turn on the notifications so you get one in your phone every time we go live or every time we post or premiere any of the videos. Later tonight, for you Miami Heat fans, we have some exclusive content here on the Five Reasons YouTube channel. Norris Cole is going to be making an appearance here on the channel, talking a little bit about the Miami Heat and their playoff run that started yesterday with a solid win against the Atlanta Hawks. So right now it's a good moment to be a Miami fan, right?
That's right.
Let's hope it stays this way, and hopefully we see you back here sometime soon, David. And hopefully they win in that game as well.
Yes, sir.
That's it for today, but thank you very much for joining us, and we're gonna be back sometime soon here on the Five Reasons YouTube channel. Have a good night.